Hello and welcome to Omnidog's Vault Crime Corner. That's right, where we talk about crime comics and overanalyze them and beat them to death. That part belongs to my partner, Taylor Brown. How's it going? Minister of Comics, Taylor Brown.
I'm doing great. I thought about putting Minister of Comics as my name, but it took up too much of the screen. So I'll just go with Taylor.
Okay, well, everybody know that he is, in fact, the Minister of Comics on the internet. So dibs on that name.
Well, I'll definitely wear that name with a badge of honor.
Right on, man.
And I see Chris M., who's also from Pittsburgh, giving me some crap for not watching right now. I think I've said it before. I'm just not I'm not a sports fan. I know it's a big deal. The Penguins are playing again, but if I had to watch any Pittsburgh sport, it'd be the Penguins. That's for sure. If I had to watch any sport, it'd probably be hockey or basketball. We don't have a basketball team, so sorry, Chris, I'm disappointing you.
Oh, and Lloyd Wong putting the whammy on us there.
Oh man, you're gonna cursing us. And I went to great lengths to use my wife's iMac. I moved it into my office. I plugged in an Ethernet cable, plugged it into the router. So hopefully this will go well. Jess and I did a test stream that seemed to go well, but we were talking a minute ago on this stream, and I cut out for a second. But usually whenever I cut out, I don't come back, usually. So I think it was just one of those momentary glitches that we all have to some degree. Hoping. I think, can everyone see my little Ethernet cable running across the back?
Yeah, there it is.
So I go to great lengths to try to make this as professional as I can. So sorry I've had some technical difficulties, guys.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay.
But I did have a very fortuitous delivery today from the mailman, a very crimey order from IST. Do you want me to show off what I got?
Crime-filled order? Yeah, let's see your haul.
Yeah, Jess would say it's the crimiest crime order that's ever crimed. That's how Jess would say it.
That's how I would say it. Yeah, crime up.
I got the book one of the books I'm most excited for this year, and that's Pulp by Ed Brubaker. I cannot wait for this. And whenever Cruel Summer, their next volume, comes out this upcoming Tuesday. So whenever that comes in, Jess and I are going to do a crime corner as soon as possible on these two books. I'm really excited about it. I've heard some great things. I saw Riley on his Omnibus Collector YouTube channel give a great review of this book. He says it was really awesome. So I'm really looking forward to this story. I've never been disappointed by this duo. Have you?
I've never been
disappointed by Brubaker and Phillips.
No, I haven't read anything bad by them. They are an awesome duo. Actually, the only thing, even just Ed Brubaker, just that one X-Men thing that he wrote, I was disappointed in. But no, I think he and Greg Rucka are consistently, well, and Mark Waid, to me, are consistently good all the time. But this pairing, you're right, this artist and writer are particularly good.
The book that they did together that a lot of people don't seem to like, we both love, and that's Incognito. I love that book. There's a lot of people who don't like that.
Those people are wrong.
I know. I've seen that a lot in the group. People saying, I don't like Incognito that much. But I like that book a lot. It's not one of my top 3 Brubaker Phillips books, but it's still awesome. I really enjoy it.
Hello, Italy. How's it going?
Jesse Stawat slipping today with a thumbs up at 5:03. Showing up late, Jesse. What's going on, man? I was joking. You can have a life.
Hayden, Jess, do you like manga? I need to know if it's safe or if it's still the dark timeline. I don't particularly care for manga. I did read a manga the last time you tuned in. I think that's what you're referring to, the dark timeline. Things have flipped. We're back in we're out from the upside down and we're back in the real world now. Everything's okay.
All right, Jesse, say what? That's a great excuse. He's eating pizza right now.
Eating pizza.
Just don't chip your tooth on the crust. Be careful.
Good pull.
And someone mentioned that Brubaker and Phillips are doing another series for Image. I'm really excited. I posted on the group yesterday saying it was like Brubaker and Phillips looked into my mind and picked the book that I really want. They're going to do a series of graphic novels about a private investigator. Can you think of a more perfect book for me, Jess? That's going to be awesome. So they're going to be releasing 3 over the next year. 1 in December, one in April, then sometime the third one will come out sometime in 2021 as well. And Ed Brubaker says he has at least 5 or 6 ideas for this book. So it's going to be continuous. And each one's going to be 140 pages, each graphic novel. That's going to be awesome.
See, this means already I'm feeling better about 2021. We have that to look forward to. I think it's possible we have some other things to look forward to. I think 2021 is just going to be, well, of course, any year is better than 2020.
Yeah.
But I think next year will be a particularly good year, led by this Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, private investigator. What's his name? Knuckles or something?
Reckless.
I
didn't think of Knuckles from Sonic and Knuckles when you said that.
Right. I don't know about Reckless as a name, but who am I to criticize this guy?
I think it really fits in that 70s, 80s like tough guy pulp action hero. I think it's awesome. He has a hatchet. That's how he kills people. I'm all down for that.
Well, I didn't see the hatchet part.
Yeah, he has a hatchet on the cover. And then I read the inside pages. They had a couple inside pages.
Oh.
And you see him walking away from 2 corpses with a hatchet, bloodied. That's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for that. And someone mentioned that they want to have a sleeper reprint. I love that book. I don't think Jess has read it yet, though.
I haven't. No.
That's definitely going to be a priority. We should definitely read that for Crime Corner, Jess.
I need to make that a priority.
That's a great series. That was their first big collaboration together. And Eric Ramirez says we need to petition Image for a reprint of the Fade Out. That's a great series as well.
And Fatal, both of them.
Sure. They also have a thick trade of Fade Out, but I think that's also out of print as well. So I think if you want to get it, you have to get the little tiny thin trades. If I'm remembering correctly. So we definitely need a reprint of that. I don't think Image doesn't really do that many reprints because it's basically up to the creators, and they're the ones who put money forward for that. And Jess and I already have the 2 criminal hardcovers from Marvel Icon, but I think we're both so weak that we're going to crumble and get those reprints from Image because the covers look so cool.
I know. The covers look so boss. And hey to Brian Meenan, who just bought Kill or Be Killed. Awesome book.
That's my favorite book by them.
Yours or mine?
That's my favorite book from them.
Your favorite? I think my favorite's Fade Out.
I think it's Kill or Be Killed and then Criminal. That's right below it.
Well, what am I going to do? It took me so long to find those 2 criminal books. And then now they're going to, I don't have non-matching spine disorder. I'm okay if the spines don't match. But the covers just look so cool on the new ones.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get volume 3 anyway.
Right.
But should I really get a match set 1 through 3? What am I going to do with volumes 1 and 2? Who's going to buy those?
Yes, let's just Thelma and Louise it off this cliff and just go together and get all of them. I think I've struggled internally about this. And I think I've given up. I'm just I lose. I'm just going to get it.
You're not even going to try to talk me out of it. We're just going off the cliff.
Jess and I are like each other's yes men. If we want to get something, we want to justify it, we text each other. We rarely, sometimes we say no to each other, sometimes, but usually not.
Brian's got a good idea. Sell them on the air, Jess. Yes, somebody will probably buy them.
That's true.
Oh, but there's my conscience. Don't double dip, so Chat Omni Dog.
I'm actually pretty cheap. I think Chat Omni Dog's even cheaper than I am, right?
Yes. Yeah. Chat Omni Dog is the cheapest guy I have ever met, and that is saying something because I have met some misers in my life. Chat Omni Dog, he wins the award. Cheapest son of a bitch I've ever met.
And I'm pretty frugal too, so that's saying a decent amount. I know a lot of times Jess is like, you should get this. I'm like, oh, I can't. I got to wait till next month, the month after that. So I guess Chat Omni Dog has me beat there.
Well, he lives a pretty he doesn't live extravagantly. I think he and his wife have a nice life, but he does not. He's frugal too. He lives very smart. He lives a very smart life, but But yeah, he tosses nickels around like they're manhole covers, man.
I never heard that before. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Let me finish my haul. It's a really small
Yeah.
haul, but so yeah, I got Pulp. Really excited about that. This will be our next Crime Corner with Cruel Summer.
We may have a problem there.
What's that?
I pre-ordered Cruel Summer from DCBS, and I don't know what their policy is. Do they? I've never pre-ordered from them.
What made you do that?
It was 50% off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cheap in my own
It'll
way.
be funny if it's 50% off on IST next week.
Huh?
It'll be funny if it's 50% off on IST on Tuesday.
Oh, I know. That'll be right in my face.
Why? Are they pretty slow with that kind of stuff?
I have no idea. I've never bought from them. I have a list upstairs that I'm keeping now, so I don't, accidentally buy them again, like Lucifer Volume 2, but I think that may have been canceled or postponed. Some X-Men Omnis, couple other Omnis, and Cruel Summer. And I don't know if it comes in, do they just send out one box or one book rather in a box, or do they wait till other books come? I don't know.
Portion my mellow, Jess.
Sorry.
Hayden McGee, you have to rectify this as soon as possible. I feel bad that he's never read anything by Brubaker besides Cap. That is a great run. That's a great run, but you have to read everything by Brubaker besides Deadly Genesis. Got to get Iron Fist. You got to get his Daredevil run. You got to get Fatale, Fade Out, Killer Be Killed, Velvet, Scene of the Crime, Criminal. The hard thing is that, like you said, Fatale, you can't get those in hardcover anymore except for expensive on eBay or the secondary market on Amazon. Like we said, the Fade Out, thick trade, and
you froze there.
Am I okay?
Yeah, but you came back. You're like this.
All right. The big thing is that I come back.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get kicked off. So
right.
I was talking about Fatale and the Fade Out, just saying it is hard to get those books if you want them right now.
While we're talking about Hayden, what's this mean? Jess gets to see Harley on the big screen again? Oh, is that Suicide Squad? Right. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I answered my own question.
I'm pretty. DC's having this thing called DC Fandom on the 22nd of August, where they kind of like have their own like Comic-Con, where they show trailers and announce movies. So I'm guessing we're gonna get a Suicide Squad trailer in a couple weeks. So that'll be fun. I wasn't a fan of the first Suicide Squad at all, but James Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is going to be helming that movie, so I'm excited about it.
And I loved Harley Quinn in it, so I tolerated the movie.
And Brian Meenan has a good question about Pulp. That is not going to be included in Criminal Volume 3. This isn't a criminal book. What's going to be included in that is Bad Weekend, My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies, as well as the Savage Sword of Criminal. And there's another one as well that's made up in a trade called Wrong Time, Wrong Place. Because that's the only thing from the trades that's not included in the hardcovers. So it's going to be those three stories.
So Cruel Summer is all set. Cruel Summer and Pulp are separate.
Right. Cruel Summer is not going to be in Volume 3 of Criminal either.
Right.
So don't worry about double dipping on those. Volume 3 and Cruel Summer are totally different things. So definitely get all of these. They're all necessary.
Yeah, you got to read them all. Did you freeze, or are you just not saying anything?
I wasn't saying anything. Let me finish, my haul. It's taking a while. So Killer Groove by Aftershock Comics. I'm really excited about this book because, again, it's about a PI. And I really like this like sticker on the front where it gives you the price, like an old school book you get at like, the used bookstore.
Yeah.
This is going to be another crime corner Jess and I are going to do. One of the books we're going to do. I'm really excited.
Wait. Here, I got that also. Oh, yes. Yeah.
And we also got Hot Lunch Special, which is also another crime book. And I'm really excited about this because I love the artist Jorge Fornes. He does Daredevil with Chip Zdarsky. He also does Batman with Tom King. And he's the artist of Rorschach, the upcoming series by Tom King.
Oh, okay.
He's like 21st century David Mazzucchelli. He has a really great style. This book looks beautiful. So Jess and I are going to be reviewing this Hot Lunch Special, Killer Groove, and then Punisher Soviet whenever that comes out. That comes out this upcoming. No, it already came out.
I think it came out this week. Yeah.
So the plan is, I'm not sure exactly what our next video will be. It depends on when Jess gets Cruel Summer. Summer. And our other video will be Killer Groove, Hot Lunch Special, and Punisher Soviet. I love every Garth Ennis Punisher book, so I'm getting that no matter what. That's going to be a great book. I'm never disappointed by him when it comes to the Punisher.
Right.
Yeah, chat on me, Doug. Cruel Summer comes out this upcoming August, so this upcoming Tuesday. So probably open that wallet and get those shekels out to buy that because you need it.
And wave away the moths that come out of your wallet.
He's like George Costanza. George Costanza was super. Remember George's wallet? How thick it was?
Yeah.
You have more cow here than here. Well, do you want? Oh, I have one more thing in my haul.
Yeah,
it's kind of a crime book, and that's Batman Volume 5 by Tom King. And I was talking about this with Jess. I do have a major gripe with this book
already,
and that is that it has 2 issues that weren't written by Tom King. They're written by Joshua Williamson. It was a 4-part crossover with The Flash, and guess what's not in here? Those Flash issues. So these issues are stupidly ripped out of context. They did it as well with the Button issues and with Night of the Monster Men. So that just really frustrates me. For one of the biggest reasons is they're not making Flash Deluxes by Joshua Williamson anymore. They stopped putting those out. So you have to get the trades and the standard hardcovers they're doing out now. So it's annoying. I can't really read these issues in context and know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
It would cost that much more for DC to put those 2 issues in here.
And I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm caught up on Flash trades. I haven't read them all, but I feel like I've collected them, and I'm just sort of scanning, looking to see if I have those issues in the latest Flash book.
I'm not sure exactly what issues they will be. It's probably in the 50s or the 60s. Are you up to date on the Joshua Williamson Flash run?
Sorry?
Are you caught up on those hardcovers and trades?
I'm caught up on owning them, but not reading them.
So you probably do have it then.
Somewhere, yeah.
I just don't know why they just don't put it in there. It's just frustrating.
And I agree. I always hear Bananarama in my head, too.
Is that a song or something?
Great song. Yeah, that's an 80s, like 1983 song, Cruel Summer.
Okay. I wonder if that's what they were thinking when they came up with the title.
Probably, yeah. But I think that might be a cover. Bananarama might have done a. I don't know who really. Let's ask Siri. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Who sang on "Cruel Summer"?
"Cruel Summer" is by Taylor Swift.
Not Taylor Swift. What the hell?
Why are you asking Siri? She's so dumb.
Hey Siri, who originally recorded "Cruel Summer"?
I don't have that information in "Cruel Summer."
Hey Siri, what good are you?
My apologies. Please try again and tell me what were you looking for.
Hey Siri, who originally recorded the song "Cruel Summer"? Hey Siri, who originally Are you there? Jeez, what the hell?
The whole video.
Hey Siri, who originally recorded the song "Cruel Summer"?
"Cruel Summer" is by Taylor Swift.
Okay, we're not having any luck.
You know, old man yells at Cloud. Now it's old man yells at Siri.
Yeah.
I never use Siri because she's the worst. She can't do anything. She never gets anything right.
"Cruel Summer" by Taylor Swift.
I don't know if she has a song called "Cruel Summer." I guess she does.
Apparently, yeah. I can't play it, or we'll get a hit, a copyright hit.
Crazy Jane said it's a Bananarama song, Jess.
Crazy Jane says it's a Bananarama song. Okay, yeah. Good. Chad Omni Dog. This is good content.
It was legit 2 minutes of you trying to talk to Siri.
Yeah.
Brian Meenan has a pretty good haul at 5. He has at the timestamp 518. I hauled about 30 epics. Wow.
Who did?
Brian Meenan at 518. Batman, Superman Omnibus, and that was one of your big omnis of the year.
Yeah.
Black Science 1 through 3 and Lock and Key. Black Science is an awesome series. That's my favorite Rick Remender series. It was fantastic, and Lock and Key is also one of my favorites as well. So that's a great haul.
I know that Brian's been getting into the epics, so obviously 30 epics, that's a heck of a lot.
Yeah, epics are pretty pricey too, aren't they?
I don't think so. I think they're pretty affordable. I think
really?
the idea is they're affordable.
Okay, but for 30, that's a decent amount of stuff, Brian. Good job. That's a nice haul.
As soon as I get my check from Jess for Ultimate Spider-Man, I will pick it up. You are going to be waiting a long time then to get Cruel Summer, chat.
And the Canadian Invincible Comics says Siri is ghosting Jess. It's hilarious.
She's ghosting me.
I recently learned you can change Siri's voice on your phone too.
I have had her be Australian before, and I think I had her be English before, but I decided it was too distracting when she wasn't answering any of my questions.
And Brett, you're asking a question I don't think Jess and I can answer. What is our opinion on Spawn?
Oh, sorry. I don't read it. I don't have any idea. Sorry.
The only thing I've seen of Spawn is the old movie from the 90s, which wasn't that great. Chad Omidog says epics are $20 to $24 on IST. I think, are you trying to tell us that's way too expensive to buy? Chad
Oh yeah, he's that's his way of saying, "Oh my God, that's crazy. Only rich people buy epics," is what he's saying there.
All right, so that was my haul. Should we
Nice.
jump into the reviews for today?
Sure.
And we'll take questions at the end if we have time, for sure.
We'll take questions whenever you want to ask them.
Sure. Yeah, if anyone wants to ask me questions, we'll address them.
Yeah, we'll stop in the middle of our sentence and address.
Or we'll ask Siri the question and see if she can answer them.
Wait, let's see something really easy. Like,
Siri, what is 2 + 2?
now, hey Siri, who created Superman?
I found 2. Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel.
Okay, Siri comes through.
She redeemed herself on a pretty menial, easy task. And Brian has a question for you, Jess.
That's a good question. Brian's question?
Yeah.
I put Superman Batman on my event shelf.
Ooh.
It's with Infinite Crisis, DC 1 million, and 52. And here's the reason. That's where I have the space. That's the only reason.
Well, Jess, you gave me all of the trades that you you gave me all your trades. I'm going to put them on the Superman shelf or next to Superman because it has Superman first in that title.
I get that. I also have Hellbat in front of him. So
yes, should we show off our Hellbats, Jess?
Yeah.
We'll get mine.
Oh my gosh, it's so heavy.
Actually, I'll just have you show off yours. I don't feel like moving mine.
Oh, it's fine.
Yours is on the stand. I didn't use a stand, so I don't want it. It's in a good spot right now. But everyone can see it behind me, though.
Yeah. This is
so, Jess, who talked you into getting this?
You.
And that's pretty rare because this is my first action figure. The only other thing I had was a Jock statue, a Jock black and white Batman statue. But I saw this and I had to have it. And Jess, it's only $20, right? It's cheap.
$20 free shipping on Amazon, and it's hefty with a good design.
And we're currently trying to make Tyler Blunt feel left out for not having it. Tyler Blunt has some really harsh rules about collecting figures. He collects 6-inch figures, so he doesn't want the 7-inch McFarlane Toys figures. Is that right, Jess?
Right. These are 7 inches tall, and every other action figure that we've ever had has always been conformed to a 6-inch height. And these McFarlane ones are 7 inches. So Tyler is not going to get these McFarlane figures at all because, because they're an inch too tall. Let me see if I can find.
He told me he's probably going to get them. He's going to try to hold off as long as he can, though.
Well, actually, this Hellbat. Oh, he is.
I mean, I think he'll get it. I think we can convince him.
I think Hellbat also is special. He's taller than.
I think I saw a review on YouTube, Jess, to see if I wanted it. I'm pretty sure it's like almost 8 inches tall.
Yeah, because he's taller than Grayson here.
Well, it makes sense. It should be bigger because it's Batman inside of a big suit.
Yeah, big armored suit.
I'm pretty sure we're going to convince Tyler because I sent him pictures of it whenever I got it in. He, all caps, said, "Why would you send me that? Now I need it."
That sounds like Tyler.
So I'm pretty sure we can talk him into it. And he also hasn't read Batman and Robin by Tomasi yet. He has that on me. He's going to read it soon. After he reads that arc with the Hellbat suit, he's going to have to get it.
Yeah.
He'll definitely get it. So everyone, just whenever Tyler comes on next time, just make sure you badger him to get that because he needs that figure. Yeah. Jess finally found a space for it. It has a big wingspan.
It is. It's huge. It's just like it's as wide as it is tall.
And you guys can see it up here, right above me, next to my jock.
Right up there, yeah.
And so
again.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is, up on the top shelf.
I didn't use my stand, and I don't want to have it fall over, so I might just leave it there. Otherwise, I would grab it.
Well, the stand is supposed to help it not fall over.
Yeah, I guess I should use it. I don't know. I got to stand up. It's been up there for a week, so I'm guessing it'll be fine. I liked it better without the stand. I just thought it looked cool.
Well, then that's the important thing.
But I'll just keep it just in case. But Hayden McGee says, "Wait, Taylor's buying figures now?" Jess, you told me this wasn't the dark timeline.
Yeah, we're in the upside down again.
I do have some self-control, and I'm only going to buy them sporadically, and it's not going to be a separate budget. It'll come out of my comics budget if I ever do buy figures. There's only 2 more figures that I want. There's a Grim Knight action figure from McFarlane coming out that looks awesome, and a Thomas Wayne Batman from Flashpoint. I'm pretty sure Jess wants that one too.
I do.
Because the ones you have are cool, but they're not as nice as that one.
What was the first? Right, I have a couple of Flashpoint Batman.
Do you remember the Grim Knight from the Batman Who Laughs? The guy who uses all the guns and everything?
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I'm really excited about getting those ones too.
Got about 15 guns on him.
I got that one statue back there for Christmas a couple years ago. It was only $70. I just can't get into statues. They're too expensive. But a $20 figure here and there, that's nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be Tyler Blunt getting, 35 ninja figures or something. That's his hobby. I'm not making fun of him or anything. Just saying that I don't think I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole too much. So
I wonder if I should call him right now, wherever he is.
See if he answers.
Huh?
Let's see if he answers. It's 5:30, so he should be out of work.
And I wonder, the question I have for him, would he give up books or action figures?
I'm pretty sure he'd give up books.
I think so too.
So we're both guessing books. It's gonna be awkward if he doesn't answer. Uh-oh.
This is the voicemail box of Tyler Blunt. Please leave a message.
Tyler, this is Jess and Taylor from Crime Corner calling to tell you you've won. You are the big winner. You've got an elephant named Stampy you have chosen as your prize. That's right. You got to come down to the station and pick it up. The elephant's all yours. If you can answer this question, what would you give up in your life if you had to? Your action figures or your books, your comic, graphic novels, omnibuses, and trades? What would you give up? Books or action figures? Call us back. You have the number. Thanks, buddy.
Well, hopefully he'll call us back and we'll be on pins and needles until then. But Lloyd Wong has a really great question for us, Jess.
the hard case question?
Yes, I do hope to get those someday. I don't think Jess has any of them though. I think we talked about reviewing this at some point, but we need to get some of them to be able to read them. I think a lot of them are on Hoopla though, so we might be able to read them on Hoopla. But someone did ask about the Vertigo crime series, Jess, if we're going to read that. I do have 2 of those. I hope to get a couple more. I think you have like 6 or 7 of them.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them.
Oh, wow. I have 2 of them. I hope to pick up a couple more. The hard thing is that they're not in print. So you have to get them all on the secondary market or on eBay. So they're pretty cheap, but you have to track them down and find a good copy. So I'm hoping to get a couple more. I think we'll do one of those reviews where, Jess might review some books that I don't have and I'll review something he doesn't have. So we'll probably do that sometime this year, hopefully.
I have to read all 9.
You can read whatever you want, but okay. We'll do it sometime though. But yeah, maybe we'll read some of those hard case crime Titan books on Hoopla or something, and we'll review.
Yeah,
those.
that sounds fun. I'd love to read those.
I think we have a lot. We have a lot of episodes, a lot of episodes that we can do for this show. So that's exciting. Yeah, Canadian. Don't you feel bad for Jess? Everyone's ghosting him today. Harry turned back on you and Tyler Blunt.
They don't want him to know they're planning a party for him. Siri and Tyler Blunt are getting together to throw a party for me.
I believe that.
Let's talk about Analog first.
All right.
From Image, written by Jerry Duggan. And do you want to give the central theme? What's that?
I'll read the synopsis and you can show off some of the art. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
It's 2024 and the world has been mass doxxed. Every email, photo, and document ever sent rains down out of the cloud, and only a fool would send a secret over the web. This is the era of the paper jockeys, armed couriers with briefcases of secrets who will get your sensitive information around the globe or die trying. Jack McGinnis and his partner Una are 2 of the best in the business. For a price, they'll move your sensitive information where it needs to go as they fight off fascists, criminals, and spies. And this story is marketed as a cyber dystopian noir. And this book definitely has a lot of similarities to the plot of Private Eye by Brian K. Vaughan, which we read a couple months ago. But I think it does go in really different directions, though. They're not very similar, and just a couple of parts of their premise are a little bit similar, but everything else is pretty different. So, Jess, what did you think about this book?
Still trying to decide. I liked I liked how violent it was. First of all, it was very realistic as far as how bloody and violent it was going to be. So I dug that.
Look at this page. That? She blows a guy's head off. That was really cool. That's the kind of violence you get in this book.
Yeah. So I like the central conceit, the central theme that you needed couriers to take your sensitive information around because there was no privacy anymore. And I liked the main character. We don't really get to see Una much. It's more the guy
to kick butt and kill people. That's mainly her part of the book.
Jack McGinnis is who we see more. We really don't see that much of Una. And then some kind of really tiny woman is representing what, the CIA type part of the U.S. government. And
yeah, she's part of the U.S. government, and they pretty much can't use computers, so they're like using photocopiers to, send things, and fax machines are kind of going old school with things like that. And they want to use Jack as like a spy, where they want him to deliver these briefcases that he's hired to send secretly to other people. They want to get a peek at them first and photocopy them.
Right.
So they want him to be entered into the fold of the U.S. government. He's trying to kind of work around that and figure out how he can stick true to his job and not get destroyed by the U.S. government. And there's a bunch of other conspiracies going on. There's a lot of plot threads going on, a lot of characters, a lot of conspiracies and things like that. I enjoyed the series, but it didn't grab me, essentially. It was fun, but it wasn't a book that I will probably reread a lot. So
I
it
think
was
that's
good.
how I feel. I
It was
enjoyed
good.
it. I enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoyed it. I don't think I'll reread it as much as I would reread a similar book like Private Eye
Right.
by Brian K. Vaughan. I did enjoy it, and I liked all the action. Tons of action, tons of plot threads, like you said.
Oh, Tyler Blunt. Look at that picture.
T-Bone.
Hi, hey guys. I had a missed call from your station. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous right now. This is so exciting. Hey, a long-time listener, big fan, big fan.
Calm down, young man. We're just people. We put our pants on one leg at a time.
So you can win this elephant named Stampy if you can answer this question. What would you give up? Your books or your action figures?
Oh, geez, this is a real Sophie's Choice situation here. Oh,
Sophie's Choice, she had to decide between her children, living human beings. I'm asking you about plastic toys and...
What do you think I view these toys as, man? These books, I sleep with them, I eat with them, I keep them all to myself. Oh, geez. Okay, fellas, I think if I really had to do it, I mean, I could always make my own comic books. But then again, I could always just get a 3D printer and print my own figures. So, I'm going to say I'll keep my books.
Whoa.
I'll keep my books.
You give up your action figure?
Well, when you say it like that, no, I want to change my I think I'll give up my books. What is giving up my books for 500?
Wow.
You're going to give up your books?
You jerk.
Well, I didn't say that. I mean, no, I wouldn't specifically say that.
So we're getting a non-committal answer from him.
All right, buddy.
Why are you doing this to me?
There's an elephant headed your way. We're going to FedEx him.
Oh boy, I'm so excited. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Tyler, we both just showed off the Hellbat. We definitely need to get that.
What about vinyl?
As long as we can all agree we're all into vinyl equally and we're all going to love it together, and that's the most important thing, right? Right, Taylor?
Yes, I will be getting vinyl very soon. That is true.
Hooray! We did it!
And Tyler's going to be getting the Hellbat soon, just like Jess and I did. So everyone encourage him.
Get back behind me! How dare you?
That's right.
I will not.
I have Hellbat now, Tyler.
Oh, jeez. The peer pressure is really good.
He's like 8 inches tall.
The size doesn't matter, Jess. It's the cool factor.
Is that what she's been telling you?
That's what I've been.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, thanks for the call. Appreciate it, fellas.
Thanks for calling in.
Have a great day.
Okay, you take care, buddy.
All right, well, we kind of got a non-committal answer from him, but
But he didn't answer at first. He'd be giving up his action figures.
he took it back and said his book, so I don't really know what his answer was. Probably he even knows. Lloyd Wong says Maddie from Fangirl Assemble loves Analog. Speaking of Maddie, she's going to be on Saturdays in the Batcave tomorrow night at 7 p.m. We're doing a Wonder Woman Spotlight episode. We'll talk about our favorite Wonder Woman books and the best books for newcomers to the character to read. So make sure you tune in at 7 p.m. tomorrow for Maddie from Fangirls Assemble in near mint condition.
Yes.
So going back to Analog, I did like the book. I'm not going to sell it or give it away. I will read more in the series. I just hope that the next volume kind of grabs me a little bit more and kind of goes to more unexpected places. So I think you should definitely at least Hoopla this book. It's on Hoopla, so I would just read it digitally before deciding if you want to get it or not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's worth reading, though.
I agree with that, too. It's worth reading.
There are some humorous moments. It's nowhere near as funny as his Deadpool run, though. There are some funny moments, but it's not like a comedy book by any means. And I also think I like Dead Eyes by him better. Remember that book we read a couple months ago
Dead Eyes.
by him and John McCrae?
Oh yeah.
I think that's a more solid crime book in my opinion. But
Yeah.
these are available on Hoopla, so check it out. Read them digitally if you can before deciding if you want to buy them.
If you're talking funny, I think you're talking The Fix by Nick Spencer.
Anytime Nick Spencer writes a book, you know humor is going to be a part of it.
This was even funnier than Superior Foes of Spider-Man.
Wow.
For me. This every panel was laugh out loud funny to me almost. I thought this was really well done writing wise. Of course, it was great art because it's Steve Lieber who did the art for Superior Foes. It's got a very tangled, convoluted plot that is it's two cops that are as crooked as possible in LA, two detectives, and they are trying to figure out ways to make money. And so they're on the take, and they are hilarious. I laughed out loud on every single page. I thought it was incredibly well done. I am really pissed that Volume 3 ends on a major cliffhanger.
It's been 2 years since that volume came out. There's supposed to be 4 more issues in the series, and they haven't gotten back to it. That's the thing about Nick Spencer. When he does indie comics, he just kind of drops the ball and doesn't finish them. He did it with Morning Glories. He did it with Bedlam, and he's done it with this series too. And that just really, as Jess says, gripes my cookies.
Exactly.
I think if you invest time and money into a series, there's like an implicit contract between reader and writer. I'm not saying you have to finish it really quickly, but you should finish it. I think it's just frustrating when a writer chooses not to finish something like that. And there's only 4 more issues, I think. Like, come on. It's like, I think Steve Lieber just finished Jimmy Olsen with Matt Fraction. So hopefully they'll get back to this series. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That just blows my mind that it's been 2 years. This is a major cliffhanger that book 3 ends on. The dog is a drug sniffing dog at the airport. Pretzels. He factors into this plot in a big way. The undercover cop, the detective purposely gets the duty at the airport so that he can work with Pretzels and try to help pay off debt that they owe to the local crime boss by letting some drugs through LAX, and the owner operator of Pretzels, the dog, can do that. So that's why the dog is featured so prominently. And I think it is just freaking hilarious and great. I highly recommend it, even though it ends on a major cliffhanger that apparently may not be finished in my lifetime. I highly recommend The Fix. I loved it.
Yeah, I think you might want to wait. Read it on Hoopla or wait until we hear if the series is going to be finished. I feel bad recommending people to buy it if we don't know if it's going to be finished or not.
Well, you had me buy it.
I didn't know it wasn't finished. I thought it was.
Oh.
I read it on Hoopla, so I didn't buy it. I didn't tell you to buy it. I just said we should review it.
When you say read something, that to me means buy it.
Okay, I'm sorry. But I know you love it, though, so at least you have it.
Well, it's true. I will constantly reread this. This is hilarious.
And the main detective desperately wants a movie to be made of his career and his partner's career. And that's kind of the main conceit, that they got into debt with this crime lord to finance a movie about their careers. And this crime lord is a lot of fun because he is a psychopath who wears his child in a sling on him. He does hot yoga. He does like PTA meetings, things like that. But he's an insane person who tortures people in his garage. And it's a lot of fun. I think this book's a little bit too irreverent for me at times, where I was like, okay, that's a little bit too far for me personally, though.
It
That's
was
me.
extremely raunchy. I was surprised. I'm not sure that had I read it that I would recommend it to you personally, because it is so raunchy.
I did enjoy it, though. I was able to look past those moments. I just
Okay.
want to warn everybody out there. If there's a lot of swearing, there's a lot of sexual innuendo. So just be aware of that.
Sexual innuendo. There's a lot of just blatant, flat out
Yes. Yeah.
craziness sexually.
So that's why I'm glad I didn't buy it. I just think it's a little bit over the top for me personally, even though I can admit that I enjoyed it, had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
It was great art. It was interesting storylines. And it looks like Chad Omidog was not a fan of this series.
Yeah, Chat, I'm afraid we part ways on this book. You're entitled to your opinion, even though it's wrong, because this book is hilarious.
I can see why people would enjoy this book. I can see why. I think some people might have some of the hiccups with it that I did. Even though it was raunchy, I think there were some redeemable moments, especially for the one detective who takes care of pretzels. The main character is like a total reprobate who has no redeemable qualities whatsoever.
Yeah.
Actually, towards the end of the third volume, he has some. When he thinks something really
Yeah.
bad happens, and he kind of starts trying to take it back and do some, tries to do some correct things. But I don't want to spoil anything. But there are some really corrupt characters at the forefront of this book, so that might not be for everybody.
Yeah, talk about irredeemable. These guys have no redeemable features or qualities. The crime boss is a despicable character.
And their producer friend is the raunchiest character of all. He's the one where when you see their one friend pop up, you know it's going to be gross and vile from there on in.
You're totally right. I was just going to say their producer friend is even lower scum than the crime boss. He is just a complete reprobate. And I think the girlfriend of the one detective is a good person, but the other female in it is also a police. What do you call those?
Their internal affairs.
Internal affairs. She's crooked too. She's got some good lines in the book, but she's also on the take. The mayor of LA is like this 28-year-old idiot.
He plays video games, and he's also in the pocket of the crime lord too. He worked for the crime lord.
Yeah,
he plays video games all day. He has other really deplorable stuff behind the scenes, which you'll see in the book. Pretty much every character in the book is corrupt. There are no redeemable characters, essentially.
Except for the girlfriend of that one detective, I think.
But it's not dark because it's so funny, though. I think it would be really dark if they played it straight and played it serious. But I think
yeah,
a lot of those moments are really played off for humor. So it's not a dark and depressing book at all. It's a lot of fun. It's very light. Again, the whole thing about it not being finished, I have a hard time recommending that you buy it. I think you should at least read it on Hoopla. So I'm sorry, Jess misinterpreted me and I told him to buy it.
No, that's fine. I loved it, and I would buy it again. I'm so happy I own it. I'm going to reread it a lot because it is super funny. I really got a huge kick out of it, and I'm probably one of the few people that know that this cover is an homage to Al Hirschfeld, who is a famous cartoonist for much of the 20th century. He did lots of entertainment illustrations, and for like the New Yorker and other magazines. Al Hirschfeld was very famous in these little like grass squiggles. He'd always have Nina written in there because that was his daughter's name, and then the number of times Nina was the name Nina was worked in to the background. So it'd be like Nina 3, and you'd have to go in and look for all the Ninas. So this looks like it says Sarah on the guy's forearm here. Maybe Steve Lieber has a daughter named Sarah.
And these are really thin trades too. I think most of them.
Hey Siri, is Steve Lieber's daughter named Sarah?
Okay. She's not going to be able to answer that.
For Steve Lieber's daughter named Sarah. Check it out.
Caring for children after exposure to race-related violence?
Siri's not going to be able to help you with that question.
No, I think Siri's going to try and get me in trouble with that question.
Smotlock, that was a funny moment where Josh, the crime boss, chokes the guy out in his bluegrass band with his banjo string. Yeah, hopefully they do finish the series and put out a hardcover because those trades are really thin, even for image trades. They're like 100 pages, aren't they? Some of them.
If that.
Cool. Yeah, so that might hold some people back too from buying them because they're only 4 issues.
I'm trying to not get people to buy this. I want people to buy this.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help people out, but Jeff doesn't want me to, so just keep that in mind.
Good heavens. Everybody just buy this and enjoy it. It's great. And your life will be the exact same.
I'm just trying to be a penny pincher like Chad Army Dog.
What's that?
I'm just trying to be a penny pincher like Chad Army Dog.
Well, stop it. I'm trying to be a 2016 Jess and spend all my money again.
Yeah, so, for those of you who weren't watching Omar's stream yesterday with Jess on his channel, Near Mint Condition, about a Marvel books coming out next year, I asked Omar if he asked David from Marvel if they'll reprint 2016 Jess because I miss him. So I didn't get my answer, so hopefully we'll find out soon. Pandemic Jess has been a lot of fun, though.
Who, Jess?
Pandemic Jess.
Pandemic Jess.
The orders that you've been getting. So I think we're close to 2016 Jess, minus the root beer floats.
Right. Okay, that's good.
A skinnier Jess. There you go.
Skinnier Jess, who's buying all the fun stuff. That's cool with me. I mean, Hellbat, right here, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Here's Hellbat.
I can definitely recommend everyone buys that, Jess.
Yes. Hellbat. Everybody buy Hellbat. And that, I cannot believe that stream of Omar's had so many people to get your comments in and read by Omar. I really had to make an issue of it. I mean, I had to say, hey, there's Taylor Brown's question. Why don't you read that one? Or anybody else. You just had to really bring it up to Omar because those questions were just blasting by.
Even like usually we get 40 to 60 people on batter days, and sometimes that can be hard to see everything. We miss stuff. Yeah. I can't imagine with 400 some people.
This is funny.
Let's see. We have 2016 Jess, 2017 Jess, Pandemic Jess. We have Chad On Me Doug. A bunch of different Jesses. I don't know how many avatars are made of you, Jess. Probably like 15 of them. And Omnidog and on Omnidog Live. When
they all show up at once, it's a lot.
Oh, Psycho Seb, good for you. He got the Hellbat as well. He said, it's awesome.
Good job, Psycho.
I really like that figure because I think what holds me back from a lot of figures is what I think you complain about a lot, which is face sculpts.
Yeah.
There isn't a problem with that because it's just like a visor. So you don't have to worry about the face sculpt. I think a lot of times the faces just look weird on action figures. And that you don't have a problem with that one. So that's why I like it.
Yeah, that's why I have so many Marvel action figures and not as many DC, even though I read more DC than Marvel, because the face sculpts from Hasbro for these Marvel Legends are just brilliant. For these tiny little faces, they are just absolutely brilliant. And Mattel did not do a good job. McFarlane I have a Batgirl and a Nightwing, Hellbat, and the Batman Who Laughs. So you'd have to look at Batgirl and Nightwing really to decide if you like the face sculpts.
Hayden McGee's favorite version of Jess is Wonder Woman Jess, which is the rarest.
Oh.
That's funny. Or the chest hair Jess from the 80s.
From the 80s. Oh, yeah.
Is that what it was? Is that the 90s or the 80s?
That was 1987. That picture of me on the beach?
I was 3 years away at that point.
Yeah, that was 1987. T-Lar Blunt. You guys are the best. Marvel faces have come a long way. Yeah, they have.
Streakazoid, I would definitely read that event where it's Dark Multiverse Jesses. I would definitely
read where'd he go? Oh.
There you
Dark multiverse, Jess. I wonder what that would look like. What would my dark multiverse
There'd be there's a bunch of different versions of Bruce. There'd be a bunch of different versions of you. Maybe there's one who just reads manga and not comics, Western comics. Maybe there's a version that doesn't collect anything at all. I don't know. Maybe there's a version that just wears suits and doesn't wear Hawaiian shirts.
Oh, that's living in hell, Jess.
Well, that was yesterday. Omar and Riley both wore suits to the show, and Jess wore his Howard the Duck T-shirts. They were giving him crap for that.
The chat gave me a lot. Like, didn't you get the memo? I'm like, I will never wear coat and tie. If he has me on the show and I can talk about all new Wolverine omnibus, I might wear a coat and tie for that.
Schmotlock is saying that Marvel Legend figures are fun to play with and they look great. His 9-year-old plays with them. I don't think Jess would allow a kid to play with his toys, though.
Whoop. No, nobody's touching my toys.
You play with your toys, though.
I play with them, yeah.
Whenever I got the figure in, my wife said, "Are you going to take it out of the box or not?" I'm like, I'm definitely pulling it out of the box. It's going to look stupid inside the box. I don't get that mentality of keeping them in the box. I guess if you want to sell them, but I don't think these are going to be that valuable in the future.
I keep the box for some of them, but I always pull them out of the box.
And Schmotlock, I'm right behind you there, man. Jess, you have to read Sleeper.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to get to that soon. That's a great series. I'll definitely read that again.
I'm excited to read it. T-Lar Blue, why are you on the internet? Go outside and play with your new elephant.
Stampy, is that what it was?
Stampy, yeah. That was from The Simpsons, where I forget what the real prize was. You could either Bart called in and got the answer right, and he either got a really cool gift or the elephant. And of course, Bart chooses the elephant, and the radio station goes crazy because now it has to go out and get Bart an elephant, and Bart named it Stampy, and it comes to live with the Simpsons in their backyard. They've got an elephant. It's great. I love that episode.
Jess couldn't believe I've never seen an episode of The Simpsons. I need to get on that.
Yes, I am surprised.
You skip season 1, right? And go right to season 2?
Yeah, 2 through 5 are the must-see seasons for Simpsons. Then you got to kind of pick and choose for 6 through 8, and then you can just ignore the next 20 seasons.
Well, Lloyd Wong, you got your wish. There is an all-new Wolverine Omni solicited. So you're in luck. There is no Old Man Logan omnibus yet, but that could be a possibility.
Oh, it's definitely happening because I've got all 11 trade paperbacks of Old Man Logan.
Jess and I were I am happy, but we both just got the Daredevil Bladarski trades. And then that's when they announced the first hardcover, which I will get. I love that series. So we both made the ultimate sacrifice for all of you.
Yeah, we did. You're welcome.
Yeah, Schmotlock, that was annoying. They put out book 1 of Sleeper, that complete collection. They never put out volume 2. So I found a volume 2, like an old printing of it at a comic book store of Sleeper. So I have both of those, but DC didn't do the new reprinting of the collection number 2, which is something that DC is very known for, unfortunately, because the omnibus is also out of print. So there's not really a good way to get the series right now, completely. Yeah, sorry. My parents were pretty strict growing up. I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons, so I just kind of never got to it. But now that's on Disney Plus, I'll definitely try to watch a couple of them.
Yeah, that's what's good. You can pick and choose. I can guide you through that like you guide me through Batman the Animated Series.
Yes. So I'll definitely get to that at some point. Right now, I'm finishing up Harley Quinn Season 2 on HBO Max. I need to rewatch Season 1 of The Boys because Season 2 comes out soon. And I also have to watch Doom Patrol on HBO Max. So I have a lot of TV ahead of me, just like Jess does. Jess has more TV than I do, though.
I think somehow I've got to start watching something. I think it's psychologically daunting now for me to even turn on the TV because I've got so much to watch. I need to somehow push it out of my mind that I have literally 15 shows that I've got to watch. And just focus on one show, like Batman the Animated Series, focus on it, watch it, and then acknowledge the next show. because I don't even want to turn on the television right now.
Well, the hard thing is, like, I think me and you both have this problem to some degree. Our taste with our wives is very different, and so the shows we watch together aren't the shows we like to watch by ourselves.
Right.
Some couples like to watch the same shows. I mean, we will, watch some shows we both enjoy, but my wife isn't going to watch The Boys or Doom Patrol, so I have to wait till after she goes to bed to watch those. And so I don't have a lot of time to watch those shows. So I think you kind of have that same issue as well, and that time you use for reading books.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But I think, obviously, selfishly, I want you to watch Batman the Animated Series, but it's manageable because they're so short. It's only 20-minute episodes.
Yeah.
You can watch like 2 a day in the morning or at night really easily and finish it out pretty quickly. So maybe just focus on that for right now. Since you did watch Harley Quinn, though, so good job on that one.
What's that about Harley Quinn?
You did watch Harley Quinn, so at least you got that under your belt, both seasons.
Yeah, Ryan Sace and I were both the same way. We could not wait till Friday came around, and Geo too, because that meant a new Harley was coming out, and I did keep up with that.
I was really thankful that my parents, through their Xfinity account, had free HBO Max, so I get to tap into their account and watch HBO Max whenever I want. So I'm really thankful they actually did put Harley Quinn on HBO Max. I have been enjoying that. I'm almost done with the second season.
So good. So good.
My favorite episode is whenever it's a Batman-centric episode, and in the beginning they have this like really meta moment with these two nerds who are watching the Harley Quinn TV show, and one has a shirt that says, The Last Jedi is not canon, and I think the other one says release the Snyder Cut, and the one guy talking about why Harley Quinn isn't a good show, but the other guy's like, but you still watch it though. He's like, yeah, I watch it ironically. I'm not watching because I actually like it. And so it was such a funny nerd meta moment that no one besides nerds like us will understand.
Yeah,
So
it's brilliant. It's a brilliant moment, I think. That opening little prologue or whatever you're going to call it that sets up the show. That was my favorite of the whole show.
I was laughing really hard at that. That was really funny.
Yeah, that was great. Great. Unlike Bog Bodies. How about that segue?
Do you want to read the back while you show off some of the art?
Yeah.
All right. A dark survival story set in the remote Dublin mountains by writer Declan Shelvey, artist Gavin Fullerton, and letterer Clayton Cowles. A cold, poignant story of crime, survival, and regret. Bog Bodies follows an Irish gangster on the run after a job gone wrong who encounters a young woman lost in the Dublin mountains. Injured and unarmed, the unlikely pair must try to evade their pursuers and survive the desolate bog that has served as burial grounds for unspeakable murder throughout history. So, Jess, it seems like we already got your opinion on it. Do you want to explain yourself a little bit as to why you enjoy it?
Now, I will not say this is a bad book. I'm not going to say I hate it because I don't hate it. And I'm not going to, this is not a book I would pour root beer on. I will acknowledge that it's possible the way it ended I may not understand it. So I hesitate to say it's a bad book because I made it like Little Bird. I never understood Little Bird, but I kept it. So wasn't that the book that I had trouble reading, Little Bird?
Yeah. There's that other book recently, The Repairman or something. What was that?
Oh, yeah. Jack the Repair Guy or whatever it was. Yeah.
So I think those are books you said you didn't hate, but you just didn't get it on a first reread. I think you felt the same way about Doomsday Clock too. You just didn't really get it.
Yeah, and I kept Doomsday Clock because I want to reread it to see if I pick up more in it. But I didn't get the ending. I'm not even sure there is an ending. It sort of just trails off. I wasn't sure about the girl, if she was really alive or and I'm going to go ahead and spoil it because nobody's going to buy this. Nobody's going to buy this. He finds this kid who's on the run because the Irish mob's trying to kill him. He botched up a job and killed a girl accidentally. He's a young guy and he's on the run and he finds this girl in the woods where he's running and she's kind of beaten up and left alone, and they have trouble establishing trust between them, and they go on the run together. And at the end, we're sort of in a graveyard, and we can't tell if the girl is a ghost that was meant to be on her way towards that graveyard, because apparently the Irish mob uses the backyard of this woman as a burial ground for a bunch of their evil crimes.
Yeah, because one of the goons, his mom lives there all by herself, and she has severe dementia, so she has no idea what's going on, but she can kind of communicate with these ghosts. She's kind of like on like a different wavelength, essentially, and everyone thinks she's crazy.
Right. And so I just wasn't sure what happened, and so I'm not going to blame the book, but I also don't know that I can recommend it, because if I struggled to understand it, and if I struggled to figure out where it went, what it was trying to say, and what was real and what was not real, if I struggled with that, I can't really recommend it to somebody else to read, because I struggled with it, and I'm not just going to say, here, maybe you'll get it. I can't recommend it, because I don't know that anybody else will get it, unless you come out right now and explain the whole thing and tell everybody what it's about and how dumb I am.
Well, this is one of those books. I actually read it twice, because on the first read, I just didn't get it either. On a second reread, I think I got it a little bit more.
Oh.
You ever read a book where you just like, you still know how you feel about it after you read it? You're just like, I just don't really know. Like, I didn't dislike it. I didn't love it. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I have mixed feelings about it. I think the art is great. I never seen Gavin Fullerton before. I thought his art was really great. It was like a dark noir. Everything's set at nighttime, so there's a lot of shadows. Really great use of color. So I think the art is really good. I liked how the criminals were kind of bumbling buffoons. Whenever the girl and the guy they're trying to kill are running away, they're just waiting in their car. Like, oh, they'll just come to us. And he's like, oh crap, we have the headlights on. Like,
yeah.
there's some funny moments where the guy's about to shoot them. He slips down a hill. There's just some funny real life moments there where it's like just like some really intense moments were kind of alleviated with moments of humor. I went into this book knowing the ending was going to be weird. I just assumed it was going to be like that. Not weird, but I knew it was going to be like a ending where it was left on a cliffhanger. Like, I'm not sure what happened. I do think that girl was dead the entire time.
Okay.
In the end, she goes lays down in the graveyard.
Yeah.
In her final resting place. It's almost like her accepting the fact that she was dead. And the young man is called to kill this one girl. We don't know exactly who she is, but he kills the wrong girl, and it's this girl. It's kind of him trying to interact with her and kind of resolve this part of himself where he hates killing, and he's so mad that he killed this girl, and she was also the wrong girl. He just killed an innocent girl who did nothing wrong. So I think there's a lot of things about the ghosts of your past haunting you and trying to deal with those. But at the end of the day, you can't really make up for murdering someone because their lives were lost ultimately. So ultimately, you're lost in the end. So
okay.
I'm still trying to think through it. So I think it's worth a read on Hoopla. I wouldn't recommend that you buy it, but I think it's definitely worthy of just reading it to see what you think about it. It only takes like 30 minutes to read. So it's not like a big time commitment. I can see why people would hate it. I can see why people love it as well. I'm kind of mixed on it, but I can kind of see myself going in either direction. So I think on a second reread, I kind of understood it a little bit more. So I think the ending definitely is polarizing for sure.
I read it 3 times and still.
Oh, you read it 3 times?
With your explanation, am I now getting it?
You read it 3 times all the way through?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, because there's not, I mean, one thing I did like was how it's written very much in the Irish.
I read it in my mind in an Irish voice. I don't know if that too. It's
really like you're in Ireland, and these are real Irish people because this is using the vernacular and talking the way that Irish people from the streets would talk. I did like that part about it. It seemed really real that way. But now that you're acknowledging that this is the girl he shot accidentally, and she's appearing to him as he's trying to reconcile the mistakes of his past, and she just goes to lie down in the graveyard and die. Now I'm understanding it a bit more, but I still don't know that I can really recommend it.
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, I think just try on Hoopla, and it's like no harm, no foul. It's only 30 minutes long. If you hate it, it's not that big of a deal. You don't spend any money on it. I think it's worthy of a read, but I don't think it's worthy of a buy, essentially. If you really like it, then maybe buy it, but I still think it's somewhat enjoyable, and it has some deep, haunting moments. But I can definitely see why people hate it, and I still have some mixed feelings about it as well. I think the characters were really interesting, though, I thought.
Yeah. I didn't hate it, but I just didn't quite grasp it.
You have to go into it with a certain mindset. You kind of have to think through some things. You have to kind of pay attention to certain things. I think on a first reread, on my reread, I was able to see how nobody else saw the girl or ever talked to her besides the grandma or the mom who was insane.
Right.
So you kind of see that kind of stuff on a reread, and it kind of holds up a little better as you read it more. So I'm still going to keep it. It was really cheap. I think I'll read it again at some point. Even though it's not one of my favorite books or anything. I think it was still enjoyable, and maybe I'll enjoy it more as I reread it. So I'm still going to keep it.
Okay.
It was
Good.
probably my least favorite of all the books that we read, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think Analog definitely had more rereadability for it, even though we didn't like it.
I think
agree with all these books. The Fix was the most enjoyable and the most entertaining.
Yeah. I definitely had more fun with The Fix than I did the other books.
Yeah, that's for sure. Definitely laughing a lot for sure.
Yeah.
I was laughing out loud a lot when my wife would look over at me. I'm like, oh, it's a funny book. And that's hard to do with a comic, to make you laugh out loud.
Yeah.
That's really hard to do.
Yeah. He was consistently funny in that book all the way through it.
Yeah.
And T-Lar is now calling us bullies.
We're trying to make your life better, man.
These two guys seem nice, but they bullied me into putting Harleen into my DC Read-a-thon Summer of DC. Yes, not only is it Summer of DC, but it's a Read-a-thon for T-Lar Blount. And yeah, Harleen so far is my book of the year, and it's important for T-Lar to read that book because it is great. It's completely different Harley Quinn than you've ever seen. More like a real person than a goofy clown or a psychopathic clown.
I personally think the best way to get into Harley Quinn with her origin is to read Mad Love and then read Harleen. Because one's like the more surface level book. I love Mad Love. It's an amazing book, but it doesn't get too deep into Harley's backstory because it's so short.
Yeah.
And I read Harleen because it really dives deep into her motivations, her inner thoughts, her inner life, and why she does what she does. So if someone really wants to dive into Harley Quinn, I would say get Mad Love and Harleen first. And then I'm guessing, I never read New 52 Harley or anything like that. I'm guessing that'd be better if you have an idea of who Harley is as a character.
Yeah, I think I personally would save Harleen after New 52 Harley.
Oh, really?
And Mad Love Harley. I would read. Harleen is such a deep dive into into her mindset and what made her like she is. What made her the initial hardworking student that became a doctor, and then where she breaks off and falls for the Joker. Those are discussed in such deep and serious detail. It's not hard to read, but it does flesh her out and make her seem really real. So I think I would read. I think I'd save that for last. I'd read New 52, Mad Love, New 52, then Harleen. I might even suggest Gotham City Sirens or something before Harleen, because I think you need to get familiar with Psycho Harley and Goofy Harley before you get into like the real woman Harleen.
Tyler Blount, you're in luck. We had a Batter Days episode about that like 6 months ago. So go back in the time machine of YouTube, back to before the coronavirus was around. Jess and I are talking about our favorite villains. We did do an episode about that several months ago. So you're in luck. So
Do you remember yours? Because I don't remember mine.
I think I had Two-Face, Bane, and Joker. I think you had Ra's al Ghul, Poison Ivy, and maybe it was Harley.
Yeah, you might be right.
I can't remember who your third one was.
I remember Roz, and I feel Poison Ivy. And I know I wouldn't say something like Penguin or.
Yeah. I think it might have been, I don't know if it was Harley or not, but I know you did Poison Ivy and Roz, though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other villains you might have said.
I would have said Catwoman, except at this particular point, she's not a villain.
Yeah, it's hard to really count Harley and Catwoman as a villain anymore.
Yeah.
So I can't remember who. I know you had those two at least, though. I know Joker's overplayed a lot, but he does have some of the best stories, and he is like the most well-known villain of all time. There's so many stories tied up with him, and I just love Mark Hamill in the animated series. I love Heath Ledger. I love Two-Face because it's great to see Batman have that fight with a friend of his. It's one of his friends that he cares the most about, who's lost to him. And it's kind of, like we said in that video, all of Batman's villains are dark versions of himself. You see versions of Batman inside of them. Two-Face is that dichotomy that Bruce faces of being two people at the same time, Batman and Bruce Wayne, how you kind of rectify those two things. And I think Bane is an underserved villain in some ways. I like how he's using Tom King's run. I liked how he was using Dark Knight Rises until the very end. We ended up being a puppet for Talia al Ghul. That was kind of lame. But I think he's a really smart villain who can more than match Batman physically. So I really like those three villains. But Ra's is definitely up there too. I think he's definitely one of the best Batman villains. I think Batman by far has the best rogues gallery. I think it's Batman and then Spider-Man, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know that I would disagree with that. I think that sounds right.
The Flash is a good rogues gallery as well. I think Superman is okay. I think Superman is okay. He has Lex Luthor, Brainiac,
Toyman,
Mr. Mxyzptlk, or whatever you call it.
Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Yeah, I can't say it right. I know there's like a definitive way they want you to say it.
Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Yeah, something like that.
Toyman. The guy that opens his chest and
what's his name?
He's got kryptonite for a heart.
Is it Mentalo or something? Or
I think that's it. Yeah,
Metallo.
Metallo.
Yeah,
and then
he has good villains, but I don't think you can compete with Batman's and Spider-Man's villains, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ultra Humanite or something.
Bizarro Superman.
Yeah.
Lobo's kind of a villain, anti-hero. He's not exactly a villain, I guess. He's played in the cartoon by Everybody Loves Raymond's older brother.
Oh, Brad Garrett?
Yeah. Perfect voice for him. Yeah, I love those episodes. I'm so excited that, at least I'm pretty sure they've announced this. I haven't seen a lot of press for it, but I did see that they announced a Blu-ray for Superman the Animated Series, which I'm really excited about because then I'll have the whole Timverse. I'll have Batman Animated Series, Batman Beyond, Superman, Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited. I love all of those shows. That's like my childhood in a nutshell.
Perfect.
So it seems like we both agree about the order of the books that we enjoyed. We liked the Fix the most, then Analog, and then Bog Bodies.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get rid of Bog Bodies because I think there's probably more there than I picked up on. But I didn't hate it, but yeah, I just didn't enjoy it as much as the other ones.
We missed General Zod. I don't know how we missed that.
Well, yeah, General Zod. That's right.
Well, do you want me to talk about my movie recommendations real quick?
Parasite. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Parasite. So my movie recommendation for The Fix is one of my favorite underrated gems, The Nice Guys, with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. It's a hilarious crime movie set in the 70s. They're both private eyes, and they come across this big, massive conspiracy. It's hilarious. It's written and directed by Shane Black, who wrote and directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is also a great movie. Have you ever seen that movie, Jess?
Yes.
That's also a great movie. He wrote Lethal Weapon. I know Iron Man 3. A lot of people hate it. I personally really enjoyed it. I love Shane Black. Definitely watch that movie. It's on HBO Max. For those of you who do have it. It's super funny. Great crime story. They kind of teed it up to make more movies, but I don't think it did as well at the box office as I wanted it to, so I don't think that's going to happen, which is sad because it was a great movie. Tyler Blunt says, I want to see that movie. You definitely need to watch it, Tyler. It's a lot of fun. I think my choice.
I haven't seen it.
You would love it, Jess. I think.
I almost didn't tell you that I hadn't seen it because now it gets added to everything else that I haven't seen.
It's just a really fun, like, 70s time capsule of a movie. It's hilarious. I think Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe are a great pairing. They have great chemistry. And I think Shane Black's writing is just on point in that movie.
Do you watch that with your wife?
She did like that movie. Yeah. So we do. There are movies that we agree on, but she doesn't like dark movies. And
no, my wife doesn't either.
We did watch that movie, Ready or Not, that horror movie recently, and she did like that. Because
my wife wouldn't watch that.
It had some humor in it. It was funny. If there's humor in the darkness, she'll like it, but she just doesn't like straight, serious, like dark, violent movies that are scary. So she did like The Nice Guys, though. She did enjoy that movie. So I think that's a movie that maybe your wife would enjoy. If it's set in the 70s, so you guys were around that era.
Yeah.
It's set in LA. I know you didn't live in LA. You lived in Southern California, or
I lived in Northern California.
Northern California. So I don't know where your wife is from originally, but
she's from New Hampshire.
So never mind. But it's still in the 70s. I think it's a really fun movie.
Okay.
HBO Max might be worth it for you at some point. All the DC stuff's going to move over there, and most of it already has a lot of good movies. And Perry Mason, that's a great show.
Oh yeah,
really been It's like the perfect Taylor Brown show. It's set in the 30s, really pulpy noir about a private eye and how he becomes a defense lawyer for the original series.
My wife wants to see that, and I want to see that.
That's pretty dark, though. I don't know if she'll like it. It's pretty violent and dark.
Oh, well, we have to finish Anne with an E first.
Ooh, the hard thing I remember I watched the first episode, and it kind of revolves around a baby who was murdered, and you see
she's not watching that.
I instantly teared up because I thought of my son, and that kind of stuff harder for me to watch. I was able to get through it though. I have noticed that it is hard for me to watch Kids in Jeopardy now more than it used to be. I don't know if you felt that same way when you had your daughter, where it was it's just harder for me to watch some of this stuff.
I don't know that I've ever really, besides, gosh, I don't know that I've seen too many things with Kids in Jeopardy. I hate those kind of things to see, even before I had my daughter. I would never want to see a Kid in Jeopardy. The only thing I can think of that I saw in my life was that Clint Eastwood directed
Who was in it?
Susan Sarandon's boyfriend. He was in
Mystic River?
Yeah.
Tim Robbins. That's a fantastic movie and fantastic book by Dennis Lehane, one of my favorite crime writers.
Right. I agree.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, that is.
So my next pick for Bog Bodies, I watched an Irish crime movie last week on Netflix called Bad Day for the Cut. It was that was a really great revenge movie. It had a nice twist in it. It was really different. It doesn't go in the direction you expect it. It's about a farmer who's in his 40s or 50s who lives with his mom on the farm, and his mom gets suddenly murdered. And you think it's kind of like a random crime, but it ends up being directed at her for a very specific reason. He discovers a lot of his mom's secrets that he never knew before and why she was murdered. He goes up against his crime family. It's free on Netflix. Bad Day for the Cut. That was a really good movie.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's only an hour and a half. It was really short. I heard someone recommend it on Omniplex, the Omnibus Collector page. It was a great movie. Made you think. It went in different directions I didn't expect. Because, someone's sibling or family member getting murdered and them going on revenge. We've all seen that movie a million times.
Yeah.
One has a new take on it.
Hmm.
So I think it was a lot of fun, and hopefully some other people will watch that based on my recommendation. And for analog, it was hard to think of a recommendation because I've talked a lot about sci-fi crime movies like Blade Runner, Looper, Minority Report. There aren't a ton of those. There aren't a ton of sci-fi noir movies. There is one that I was able to think of that I haven't talked about before, 12 Monkeys with Bruce Willis. It's probably the most streamlined and popular movie from Terry Gilliam, who directed Brazil and what's some other movies? The Brothers Grimm, things like that. He was one of the directors for Monty Python, The Holy Grail. He was part of the Monty Python troupe for a little bit. That's a great movie set in the future. It might be kind of dodgy now because it's about how the Earth gets wiped out by a virus and a pandemic. So if you're willing to watch that, it's about how Bruce Willis goes back in time to trace where the virus comes from and how to defeat it. And how
yeah. I need to see that
Brad Pitt got nominated for an Academy Award in that movie, I think. It's a great movie. I think a lot of people have watched it, but they don't talk about it a lot. So that's a great sci-fi thriller movie that I think a lot of people would enjoy. But again, I want to have the caveat that it does involve a virus. So if you don't want to watch it right now, I totally get it. But if you're able to pass that, then it's a really enjoyable movie. So those are my movie recommendations.
Nice. And did you listen to anything?
Yes. While I was reading these crime books, I was listening to one of my favorite jazz musicians, the saxophonist Dexter Gordon. I was listening to his album just simply called Go. And I really enjoyed that album. I think Dexter Gordon's probably my top three. I love Dexter Gordon, Art Pepper, and Thelonious Monk. So I really enjoy all three of those guys. I've talked about Thelonious Monk and Art Pepper a lot. I don't think I've talked about Dexter Gordon before. So I definitely check out his album Go. I'm listening to it on Spotify now, but it looks like I'll be getting a turntable and some vinyl in the foreseeable future. And I'm just going to stick to jazz and movie soundtracks that I really like. Because that is a deep hole that I'm sure Jess knows all about.
Yes.
But you also have had a lot of stuff from the 70s and such. So you have a good backlog of stuff already.
Yeah. What didn't get wiped out in the flood? Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. If you can keep it just to a tight focus, you won't overspend, and you'll be able to go into record stores and get old vinyl, old jazz vinyl, of which there's hundreds of thousands of copies out there. So they shouldn't be charging you $25. They should be charging you like $5 for them. As long as you stay focused, you'll be able to build a nice, fun collection.
And one of my best friends from high school, he has a massive vinyl collection. He goes to the store all the time, so maybe we can go together and he can help me get some good deals, and he knows all about that kind of stuff. So I can obviously check in with you and Tyler and him to kind of get some recommendations.
Yeah.
Not spend too much money. I'm just going to get my favorite jazz albums and my favorite movie soundtracks, like Batman by Danny Elfman. I have to have that.
Yeah.
I love listening to that, or the Hans Zimmer scores from the Dark Knight trilogy. I need to have things like that.
Right.
And my favorite sci-fi album to listen to is Blade Runner 2049 by Hans Zimmer. That's one of my top 5 favorite scores of all time.
That is great.
It's a great track. And I know you haven't watched the movie. The movie is just as good as that album, Jess.
I know I need to see that movie. I loved the soundtrack to a fantastic movie, and I'm trying to see if I can remember. I don't want to describe it because you'll get it right away. Trying to see if I can remember the name of it. It's a Hans Zimmer score. Oh shoot! Okay, I'll just tell you. It's got Leo DiCaprio and
Blood Diamond, Inception.
Yeah, that is a brilliant soundtrack. Brilliant.
Anything Hans Zimmer does is good. I can't think of what he's done.
Inception's remarkable.
I mean, it's like Howard Shore, Hans Zimmer, John Williams. Those are guaranteed hits every single time, in my opinion.
I'm being accused of eating the dog's bacon right now.
Your dog has bacon? Like bacon or bacon?
We give her a little bit of bacon in her food to make sure she eats her food.
Okay.
She's gotten old and finicky now. So, and Okay, my wife just found it in the refrigerator. Like, no, I did not eat the dog's bacon.
That's always a fun moment when you get accused of something by your wife that you didn't actually do.
And it's so random. The dog's bacon. No. Eat the dog's bacon.
Yeah, and I ate it right in front of her too to talk.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this be good if you had some? My son, Spat Sam's at the age now where he wants whatever you're eating. So he stares at you. And so you have to get a little bit of it. And so it's so much fun feeding him adult food out. It's like he'll eat baby food. He obviously has to drink milk still at his age, but he definitely is all about our adult food. He loves whatever we're eating.
How many teeth does he have?
He is 8 now.
8. Okay.
He's a little over 9 months old. The other day I made breakfast sandwiches with bacon. He loved the bacon and eggs. That was he was just now he's at the point where he's putting little pieces on his tray and he just shoves it into his mouth and he loves Yeah. So he loves adult food.
Yeah. Good.
Well, thank you for everyone who stuck around listening to me talk about my kid. I know everyone loves that. That's why everyone's
awesome.
Everyone's tuning in to hear about Bat Sam and to hear us yell at Siri. Get on me, dog. Get out of there with the Taylor Swift comments.
Taylor Swift. You're not allowed to listen to my channel anymore, Chat Omni Dog. Get out of here. What's wrong with you?
Go pinch those pennies.
Oh yeah, and Tyler Blunt, his record collection, it's really tightly focused on video game soundtracks.
Right.
So that's how he's kept it so tightly focused. Oh, I didn't know this. There's a great live version of the main theme of Inception, which is a great musical piece, with Hans Zimmer directing an orchestra with the Smiths' Johnny Marr on guitar. Can I get that on YouTube, Smotlock? And what would I search for on YouTube to see that? Because I love Johnny Marr, and I love the main theme of Inception. So you've got me very interested. And Mr. Dalmaticus has a good question. What would you say the rereadability factor is for crime books versus superhero books? That's a good question.
Well, I remember you had one of your budget conversations with Lewis McGregor and how he sold all of his Ed Brubaker books, even though he loved them, because he said he already knows the end of the mystery or what happens. I don't really agree with. I get that. I like going into a crime book knowing what happens on the second reread because you can kind of see all the different breadcrumbs leading up to the end. And so I like being able to catch things I didn't catch before. So I think crime books are highly rereadable, even though you aren't really going to be surprised by the end unless you're Jess Bragg. But so
it looks good for me because I always forget how it ends. So
I think it really depends on the book. I don't think the genre really matters. I think it really depends on the book themselves. You're in luck. Schmotlock says that is on YouTube.
Just search Inception and Johnny Marr. Smotlock, you are my viewer of the day.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll send you your Stampy the elephant.
Right. You get Stampy's son, Stumpy.
Well, I have to go head out and say goodbye to Sam before he goes to bed, but let's end on Man Cave's question.
What do you two think of Mark Miller? Well, wait. Let me just say to Chris Coffin, I haven't read Tumor, but I do have it. I haven't read it yet. That's the question below this. Tumor's supposed to be good, but I haven't read it yet, Chris. What do you two think of Mark Miller? I love Red Sun. I liked the first Hit Girl. I hated the second Hit Girl with a passion. I hated that book.
Wolverine stuff. I love that Wolverine omnibus with Enemy of the State and Old Man Logan. Yeah. I seem to have only read the good stuff by him. I've read Wolverine. I read The Magic Order.
That's good. Magic Order's good.
I read Red Sun and his Authority run. So I think I've been able to read all the good stuff that most people seem to agree on.
I read Nemesis, and I understand why people hate it. It's a widely reviled book, and I get it. I'm not going to pile on, but I understand the hatred for Nemesis. I didn't hate a lot of people hate the book that was turned into a movie with Angelina Jolie.
Wanted.
What is it?
Wanted.
Wanted. Yeah, I liked that movie and I liked that book.
Did you ever read Superior?
Superior, I don't think I really liked.
Is that Lionel Francis Yu, where the guy gets like his powers from like a weird monkey or something?
Oh, you know what? I haven't seen the movie. I only read the book.
I wasn't a fan of the Wanted movie either.
What's that?
I wasn't a fan of the Wanted movie. I never read the comic. I do like the first Kingsman movie, but I never read the comic.
Oh, and I read the comic, but I haven't seen the movie. I liked the first Kingsman comic a lot.
The second movie was way too long, and it wasn't that great. There were good parts of it, but the first movie's really good.
Yeah, I dug Wanted, and I guess I kind of like Angelina Jolie a lot. So
she creeps me out too much.
Oh, does she? Yeah, she has done some creepy things.
I just feel like, obviously I'm not married or anything. I just imagine like if you were married to her, I'll be always sleeping with one eye open. I feel like she like lurking over me with a knife or something. I don't know why. She just kind of creeps me out a little bit.
Well, she used to wear a vial of Billy Bob Thornton's blood around her.
Her dad's John Voight. They're both weird.
Yeah. I mean, that was
weird. I'm not saying she's a bad actress or anything, but I just think she's kind of weird.
Oh yeah, Trouble. I remember reading Trouble. And Lloyd Wong is saying that he ripped off Dirty Dancing in Trouble. I never saw Dirty Dancing, so I don't think I picked up on that in Trouble. His run on Swamp Thing, I liked that. That's true. That was good. I enjoyed that. Let's see. Wait a minute.
Can't think of anything else I've read by him. Huck. I think you liked Huck.
I loved Huck. Huck was good.
I am excited for more Magic Order. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought Magic Order was really well done.
I did like that a lot.
Yeah,
that's going to be a show on Netflix because he has a deal with Netflix. Pretty much all of his properties are going to become Netflix shows or movies. So that's going to become a Netflix movie, I think. The Magic Order.
Yeah.
So that should, hopefully that's good.
Netflix even has a logo on the back of the book.
Right, because he's partnered with them. So pretty much everything he still publishes through Image, but Netflix has all the media rights to it.
Yeah. Jupiter's Legacy. I think that's good.
Oh yeah, what's Jupiter's Circle? Yeah, I never read those, but I've heard they're good. And I think one of the series has art by Frank Quitely, who I love.
Yeah, and there's one more that I like by him. I know it's in that room. Shoot, now I can't think. Let's see, what was it? I should start grouping everybody. Something like that. I should have a Miller section, like I have a Brubaker section. Because there was another run he did that I thought was fairly decent. Starlight I own, but I haven't read that yet. And I thought his run on Authority was decent. I enjoyed it. It wasn't as good as Warren Ellis's, but I thought it was decent. But you can see his treatment of women really sticks out in that Authority run. The way he just degrades them constantly, and it gets old after a while.
I think that's a common complaint against him in general, not just for that book. Well, I'm going to go say goodnight to Bat Sam. This has been a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you very much. And tomorrow, Taylor and I will be on with Wonder Maddie from Near Mint Condition to talk about Wonder Woman. That'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Batter Days in the Batcave, which has now become sort of just a DC show in general.
No one keeps mind, and it kind of switches things up for us a little bit. It kind of gives us space to do different stuff. So that's mainly kind of like our DC show, even though we do a lot of Batman stuff.
Yeah, so tune in to that if you can. I don't know who that is.
It's tomorrow at 7 p.m. with Maddie from Near Mint Condition and Fangirls Assemble. Hope to see you all there.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Please like, subscribe, and hit the like button. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We love you all. Appreciate all the good questions and appreciate all you guys watching. Thank you so much.